Hey, good morning, everyone. I am starting Playday at the Asylum. I have an idea, and I want you guys to know that these ideas just come, and I'm just going to go with it. I don't really plan them out in advance. I just throw caution to the wind, see what happens. But I want to add a door. I get a lot of compliments on this door. Okay, so I want to add something similar to my Asylum journal, but it won't be a factory door, obviously. It will be like, it'll stick to my theme of the creative asylum, and it'll be kind of like a hospital door meets asylum meets Hotel California. You know what I mean? Like, that's my theme. A lot of you guys have different themes going on with your journals, and that's perfect. I know Leanne is doing one, and it's ice cream theme journal. And I'm going to try to add some pictures if I can in this video of hers so far. She just has like the cover made, but it's a great idea. But so hers would maybe be the door going into a ice cream place. You know what I mean, with ice cream deco on it or whatever. So everyone's going to have their own door to fit their theme. Anna is kind of a botanical person, so maybe her door is the door to her greenhouse or something like that. I know Lisa is a fantastic doodler, abstract doodles, all that kind of stuff. So hers would definitely be a door. Any kind of door would work in hers, and then she could doodle like art stuff on it, or you know what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't have to be like mine. You can do whatever matches your journal. All right, mine happens to stick to the asylum creative insane person. So mine is going to look similar to this, but more like I'm envisioning more of a hospital type door. So it's very similar, but a little different. Okay. So I picked out a page, and I'll tell you why I picked this page. And this is all depending on how your journal is set up. Okay, so I picked this page because it's blank on both sides. Because I want to put the door here. Now, mind you, it's not going to be a whole door like this. It's going to be like the top part of the door, maybe, or part of the door, because like you're close up. So I'm already envisioning like a window, like this type of window, but it's in the middle, and it's going to be here. And then I'm going to do the door in one sitting, and then later we're going to add possibly the room number, keys, the keychain, maybe depending on your door, maybe like mine may have a clipboard with the file of the person that's behind this door. You could have, if you're Leanne, you could have like an ice cream menu. I don't know. It's your journal. You do as you feel. I'm just going to show you my process and how I do things, and hopefully it helps, and you can learn something, or you can turn it into your style. And I'd love to see it, because I love the diversity that we have going on out there. So anyway, so that's my plan, is to put part of a door on here, and then the next time we will put something on this side to kind of coincide with our door. And then, before you pick out your page, and this is totally up to you, what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to have a window here, I'm going to cut it out, right? So you're going to be able to see to the next page. Now, see how this is all blank, no masterboards. I lucked out on this. So here, I'm going to put a picture. I don't know what yet, but a picture here that you're going to be able to see through this door, okay? And then I'm thinking on this side, since it's going to already have a hole there, this is going to be back of the door. So if this is the outside of the door going in, this is going out, but this is going to look a little different than this side, because this is the inside. So who knows what's going to go there, and that's going to be another day also. These are going to be other days. I have a feeling this is going to take a while, so this will be one video. And then maybe if I can do the back door at the same time, I don't know yet. But we're going to start here. We're going to start with the door. Okay? So from here on out, it'll probably be me doing voiceovers, because I usually create during the day, and hubby is up and I can't like talk as I'm doing it. So, and plus I'm thinking, and thinking takes a lot of time, and so that's kind of boring. But yeah, so that's my idea, and I hope you join along and keep watching. All right, so first order of business is pick out your paper, and I use my glue stick as a bone folder, and then I'm just going to cut it down to fit my page. And I did fold it in half because I'm going to do the front door and the back of the door at the same time. Just made more sense to do that since I have to cut out a window and all that kind of stuff. So here I am drawing in my window with a pre-made template that I made, and cutting it out. And again, I'm doing both sides so that the window is in the same place. I don't have to line it up or anything like that. And then now I am going to cut the window shape out of my page in my journal. I'm just using a blade and a ruler. Alright, so now I need to make the frame that goes around the window. So I pick out some scraps, and these scraps are a little bit thinner than the watercolor paper, so I'm going to double it up and glue together to make it a little bit thicker. I'm just measuring out the outside of the frame. I didn't use the template on this because my template was a little bit wonky. I just needed the template for the inside of the window. And then I also decided that my window on the front of the door is going to also have a little door on it. So you'll see that, how I do that in a second here. Alright, so I'm going to cut out the inside of the frame on all four sides, except for the top one. I'll only cut on three sides, and then on the fourth edge I create a hinge to create my door, as you see here. I found an envelope that had a big enough window on it that I could use for my window to create the glass part. And here I am just taping it down so I can use my gel pen. I'm just using a white gel pen, and I'm just going to draw the lines going through the window. I did on my square behind the window, I did draw little dots to line it up, but I ended up not using them. Once I drew one line, I just used the line as a reference to make all the lines straight, parallel with each other. Yeah, I had to turn the light off because I couldn't even see myself because of the glare. Sorry it's hard to see. But just drawing the lines, and I'm going to do a crisscross way after it dried. Then I did the next side. Alright, so now that part is done. And I'm going to use alcohol inks to stain my window so it's not completely clear. This is brown, although it looks kind of orangey on here, but it is more of a brown color. Just kind of wanted to give my window like an aged look. And then this color is like a yellow orange color in the middle. And these I'm trying not to blend in because I kind of wanted like a watery streak kind of line going across the window. So I didn't blend it like I did the first time. I just kind of left part of it there. All right, so I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to glue it onto my page. This is going to be sandwiched in between the door and the page, just using the glitter glue. And thankfully it had that good piece of paper around the edge. It made it easier for it to glue down and stay, instead of just having to glue down like the cellophane part by itself. All right, next step. Glue down the window panes onto the door. Okay, so before we paint, we have to put down a layer of gesso, and I like to make this layer messy and thick and gloppy and whatever, because this is adding texture to our door, raised texture for later. And we do this even when we make our fake metal signs. This is the same process as that. So don't be neat, just lay it down. I even have it kind of built up around the edges of the window pane. Okay, then after it dries, I'm adding a little bit of silver, a darker silver. Just in spots where I'm going to have it show later. So you don't have to do, you can do your whole door in silver if you want to, no problem. But we're going to paint over this, so you'll see. All right, so after that dries, then we're going to add some matte medium. Again, sloppy, messy, gloppy. This is just an added layer of texture. And then now the paint color I chose was like a camel color, because hospital doors are usually like a light color. So I chose this color. You can choose whatever color you want for your door. And just putting a layer of this down. And then I don't really let it dry, and I start adding a darker, slightly darker color. as you see here, like a brown, a lighter brown. And this is just to add, to make it look kind of grungy already, dirty, aged, that kind of thing. And we dry that up just a little bit. It's still kind of moist, but not too much. And then here, I'm taking paint away using a wet wipe and letting that silver that we put down earlier, letting that come through. And so this is giving it like a worn, you know, where the paint kind of wears off after a while and the original silver from the door is shining through, or metal. And now I'm just going back over in some spots with the camel color again. Just to kind of blend it, but some parts a little bit where I feel like it may be a little bit too harsh. And here I have some of the darker brown. And this is just a feel. I mean, I don't know how to tell you how to do this, but you just kind of look at it and say, oh, you know, I think I want a little bit more grunge over here. Usually I'll do the grunginess around edges, corners, you know, that kind of thing, and then a few spots in the middle here and there. And I do the same thing on the back of the door. And so now I'm just painting the camel color around the edges in case any of it is peeking through once I glue down my door. Just dry it, and then once everything is dried front and back, I glue down my doors. I'm using that glue I got at the thrift store. It's a Fabric Fusion, and it's from Aleens, Aleens. And I really like it because it spreads real easily. And so far I've had no problems with stuff gluing down and staying down. So far. Alright, so now we're going to start adding some details to our doors. And I'm going to go around the edges, grunge it up. And this is the same like when we make our metal signs, we do the same thing. This process is identical. And we just take the whole pad and just lightly rub it across the door. I'm not pressing down at all, I'm just kind of lightly rubbing across, except for around the edge there. I do kind of press down a little bit. But here is where those textured, raised edges and stuff will get highlighted by the ink, and it creates that grungy look. So that's why you want to put a thick, sloppy layer of gesso down. Okay, so now I'm going to add the room number to my little door, my window door. And I chose room number B and then 3. And I'm just using ink and a stencil. And there you have it. And then I decided, well, you know what, let's just add some black around the edges too, for more dirt, let's say. You know, grunge it up some more, why not? And then I decided, well, let's add some rusty hinge around here. So I added it pretty much around where the silver was, and the edges like around the window. Notice it was kind of glossy looking, so I was like, I don't know about that, but I just went with it. I'm going to use my other rust elements from Finnabar also. These. So it's my rust paste. And I'm just going around the edges, anywhere I think there would be rust. And if you don't have a rust paste, no worries. You can use terracotta acrylic paint and a dark brown acrylic paint. And for texture, just add a little bit of cinnamon. And I'm also adding a dark brown version of the rust paste. This process is just layers upon layers. So I just kind of go back between the rust color and the brown and just keep adding and adding to create that effect. Paint down, like create streaks where there would be dripping. Here I just decided to scratch away some of the room number just to make it look a little bit more worn. And although I'm not using it on my door in the book, here the silver part of the door for the handle and the kick plate, I use this silver tape, duct tape type, and you just will tape it down and add black gesso or black acrylic paint over it, and then wipe it off to create that effect. But I didn't use it on this door. Now I'm going to put the word caution on my door, same as I did the room number, and just with the stencil and the black ink. I'm also using makeup brushes, and here's a small makeup brush which comes in handy. They come in all different sizes. You get like a pack with different sizes in it. Alright, so now I'm going to create signage for my door, and I made my own and printed them out on my printer, and I have a laser printer so they don't smear whenever I glue them down. And I did make the signs also for my factory door, doing the same process. I used matte medium to glue them to the door, and I need to put bolts along the top, so I made those using a die cut. But you could just use, if you don't have die cuts, you could just use a hole puncher. Punch some circles and then layer them up to make them thicker so that they kind of stick up off the page, and just glue them down. Alright, so decorating the back side, I'm just using a ballpoint pen, black, and kind of like a scratch method. Make it look kind of like sloppy and scratchy. And since the sign on the outside of the door warned you of flying paint, I figured I better splatter some paint on the back of the door. So I'm using like a turquoise, and I also use white and orange. Did not use red because I did not want it to look like blood. Also, you'll notice that I did enhance some of the darks. I added contrast, so I darkened some of the dark brown more, and so that it would stand out more. So you want to add contrast so it doesn't look dull. Here I'm just adding a tiny bit to the window. I didn't want to put too much on the window, but it should have some splatter on the inside. And that wraps up our door, friends. This is taken with a warm light, so that's why it looks more yellow. And again, add contrast. So I went over the darks and made them a little darker and lightened up some lighter spots to bring out the contrast. And did the same with the back. And I hope you guys enjoyed this play day in the asylum. If you have any questions at all, please ask them below and I will answer them. I look forward to seeing what doors you guys come up with. If you guys post them, please use the hashtag that I have listed here. As always, I thank you for joining me today, and hopefully you will join me again in the future on our next play day in the asylum. Tschüss!